I make no bones about it. My children are 100% my priority. I without flexibility on that in any regard. My kid needs to be picked up before 5:30 from his daycare. I don't care what my meeting's about. I don't care if you're actively trying to tell me you're going to give me $10 million to provide this service. Sorry, my kid is at daycare. I got to go tell them mom. It absolutely impacts your business in every regard.
Welcome to the Our Family Invest podcast, where we explore what happens when family, purpose, and entrepreneurship align. I'm Mike, a former Maui firefighter who reached financial freedom in just 5 years through real estate investing.
And I'm Caroline, a Maui-based realtor here to educate, empower, and elevate my clients to make smart real estate moves, whether right here at home or through my nationwide network.
Together, we're chasing our full potential as individuals, as a couple, and as a family. We're here to build a life that matters. And each week we share the stories of couples who inspire us to love harder, dream bigger, and grow bolder. So join us and let's learn, share, and grow together. All right, today we're excited to be joined by Ian and Zulfiya Forsythe. Zulfiya's journey started as an immigrant from Uzbekistan with 2 suitcases and a dream. Now she's a business owner, investor, and mom, building a legacy from the ground up. Ian turned a layoff into fuel for a complete career reinvention, earning 7 tech certifications and stepping into a leadership role in their growing business. Together, they're proving that setbacks don't stop you. They set you up for something even bigger. All right, you guys, I'm super excited to have you guys on. And I want to know, before we dive in, though, I want to know a little bit about each of you. So if you can, tell me about each other. So Ian, maybe you can describe Zulfiya to someone who's never met her. And then Zulfiya, you can describe Ian the same.
So Zulfiya is, and people may say this phrase about other people, I'm going to call them liars, the hardest working person you will ever meet. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Unbelievable ambition, unbelievable drive. Anyone that meets her pulls it out right away. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think, Ian, with all of that drive, it all comes also passion, right? And I think where he is at, I describe someone, the most probably patient person that I know, that could deal with my character. Amazing at very handy at things. Every time I throw at him, hey, let's go fix this in apartments. He always is able to figure it out somehow. I would also say patience is number one quality from him, because I think with someone like me that has a lot of energy, I also need some balance and someone that will ground me. And I would say my biggest cheerleader.
I love that.
We could see my biggest cheerleader, that person that has faith in me more than I do.
Oh, that's so great.
So I love the connection and bond and admiration you guys have for each other. How did you take us back to when you first met? How did you two meet?
Okay, so our story of meeting is not glamorous. We met right before COVID on the internet through a dating, app. Then after dating for just a few months, we had to quarantine and make some decisions. So we made what felt like an easy decision, and we moved in together. And then quarantine turned from the 2 weeks that everyone thought it was going to be, right, into what felt like an eternity. So you then end up living together for longer than we anticipated, and it definitely worked out. It basically put our relationship through all the ringers that you're supposed to have spread out over years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't escape each other to go see your friends for a while. It was just all that right away, and we had no problem. And we just were both very happy to take the next step.
You took speed dating to a new level.
Yeah, not intentionally, but I'm glad it worked that way. I'm really.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite the accelerator there. So what was your first date like then? And what was the qualities that you saw in each other that was like, I love this person?
So I have this thing is vivid vision, right? So I write down my goals, and I would have this blue folder. So in my desk, just a regular folder where I would write the characteristics of a person that I wanted to meet. My biggest was that I wanted someone that I could build things with, that is great with kids, that is very patient, that we can solve problems through talking. That was really important to me. Talk it out and be friends. And then also I went down to the details of how he should be looking, and literally I tracked it to stuff.
Wow.
I wrote down on my piece of paper, I was single, and I wrote down what kind of partner I want to attract. Another one important thing was I'm from Uzbekistan. It was really important for me. It's someone that I can bring to my mom's kitchen. Somebody could sit with my mother in the kitchen, drink a tea, and have a conversation. That was really important. Like, it's a small thing, but someone that will have this, not getting like kind of, it's not type like discomforted, or just kind of sit there with my family and drink the tea in my mother's kitchen. So that was very important.
So Ian, what was that tea like in Uzbekistan at her mom's kitchen?
Her brother explicitly tells, when we go out to restaurants, like her brother and I are pretty good friends. Like when we go out to Uzbekistan, I've been a few times now. We have our nights out where we just go by ourselves. And we have one other friend that I met while I was out there. We three of us go out. He explicitly tells the waiter, "I want this to burn me. If it doesn't burn me, I'm sending it back." Like it's just that really wasn't what you're asking, but that's what the tea is like. It's unbelievable. But no, her family is just as loving as she is and just as welcoming. I mean, they're just fantastic people. It was not hard to sit down, and she said to have tea, but we did family game nights with board games like right away. And she has younger cousins. I mean, now it's been a couple of years. Her younger niece is like 20, and another one like 23. They would text us like, "Can we come over board game yet? Can we come over?" Like, so no, their family's amazing. So it was very easy. She can give me all the credit for sitting in the kitchen, but in reality, her family's just so welcoming. It was easy.
That's awesome.
Question: have you guys watched the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's my family. A lot of aunts, lots of uncles, and lots of cousins, and
so fun.
The white guy in the middle.
Another thing that they love to do is they do courses, and every course is huge, but they don't tell you how many courses there are going to be.
So you don't know how to gauge.
So you're trying to like ration yourself a little bit, but then someone brings something amazing because the food over there is fantastic, and then you end up engorging yourself, and they're like, "Here's course 6 after that one." So,
oh my god,
like they yell at you for that stuff. That the first time I went out there, her cousin brought her husband. Her husband is from, now they live in London, but
Albania.
He's originally from Albania. And he was going through the same thing. At one point, he just broke down and said, "Guys, you need to tell me how many more courses are going to like." Like, as nice as everyone was, he was almost a little angry about it, and I got it. Like, I'm glad he said it.
That's so good.
It's like the game. Your kiddos might have it or get it. That Stuff the Pig. So you like see how many you can feed it until it pops.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a fun game.
Sounds like it. All right, guys, why don't we switch to business here? Because I'm actually getting hungry just thinking about those awesome courses. So tell us about your business, what you do, who you serve, and why you do it.
Sure. Absolutely. So I started my whole journey from being laid off during COVID, and I wanted extra income. But my passion was in real estate investing. Just because I wanted extra, like I knew I was from corporate and I needed extra income to build my portfolio. I was listening to.
I'm going to reject that what she wanted was the largest empire that has ever existed. That's her ambition. She's underselling herself again. Empire is literally the words that came out of her mouth. Regular. Sell yourself a little bit more.
I would listen to Kathy Fetke, for example. And Brendan Turner, Bigger Pockets, always. So I get laid off and I started looking for a job. And actually, when I made a career switch, I was working in Yardi. That's one of the property management software. So I knew that software very well. And I started looking on Upwork for jobs. And I started landing my first client, someone that I set up the entire Yardi implementation for. And then after that, I got my full-time job, but I still I kept it. I kept it going. Then we got a property, our first property. It was kind of big deal for me. We got 2 family without money. And then I kept it going because I needed to finance the whole rehab. I had 2 jobs, my full-time and this. And then in 2023, I got laid off again. But at that time, I was already working till 2:00 in the morning. And I had a little son at that point. So it was just it was unsustainable, basically. I'm not a quitter. So I think it was just a nudge from the universe. All right, enough is kind of go on this. One thing that I got really passionate about, I just love helping people at the end of the day. And I loved working with business owners. Why? Because coming from corporate, you always have this hierarchy. You need to get approval from this manager, then to that manager, or even if you need to get hired, there's multiple interviews that you have to go through, weeks of not knowing you're going to get that job or not. But with the business owners, you get on a call and you like, can you do this implementation? Can you build this reporting for me for Yardi, for example? Can you set it up? And I'm like, yep. And right there, next day, I'm already doing that. So I just love that. The portion that you just cut through it and then you do the impact and you help the business owner. And it's just such a great feel that you see the immediate impact of it.
Yeah. And so now you're doing a lot with AI, right?
That's right. That's right. So now what we do is we focused on construction space now, because at the beginning, and as I was building my business, I was kind of helping everybody. So I was doing Yardi analytics, and then I was also helping with, let's say, e-commerce, and I also had some healthcare sheet as well for clients. But I really wanted to niche in and be expert in one field. And I realized since I have passion in, real estate and the whole construction, and he was influencing me. For a long time, he told me, Zulfiya, construction is where you need to go. And I was like, but I have all of these things. And it's like, as a business owner, you think you can help everybody, but he's like, just focus on construction. Like, you can do really good at it. And finally, now I'm focusing on construction. We built voice AI agents. We built also knowledge-based AI agents. So voice AI agents we implemented now in three companies, like fire alarm, for example, systems that we're implementing right now. So it's construction services that get a lot of calls, and we're noticing that they're missing over 50%, but they all want leads. So now the system is capturing, entering the system, everything, and then doing the basic booking appointments, routing the urgent calls, and even adding like a additional language, for example, for Spanish speakers. Wow. So yeah. And then we're also building knowledge-based agents that are very important as well, like submittals, for example, historical database, or they can also look up building codes or like training or OSHA safety, like internal docs that they can train their team on.
That's awesome.
Meeting minutes and things like that too. So the ability to search specific notes that someone may have said one time back in October 2022, those things you have to hunt them down sometimes, and doing that now. We had a client talk to us that it took an entire day. They had someone looking for who said something about a trail and who was going to maintain that trail. And it took them literally a day to find the meeting minute moment of saying that Rick said this about that. And our tool can find it now just instantly.
Yeah. That's super cool. So like with what you're building, you're essentially feeding a database with all the content, all the information that you have from a particular business. Is that right? And then that database, you can use it with probably like a chat base or something like that within other websites, so that they can have all that information at their fingertips when they're searching. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, with a lot of different ways to get to it. A lot of customizable options in terms of how to get to that information, whether it be, like you said, a website, or it can be on an app.
Slack, Teams, really good. ClickUp, for example, so they can have it on their phone because of the web browser, right? The chat window. Like for example, getting on a iOS, like on iPhones and stuff, there's like additional regulatory things that you have to go through, but like everybody has Slack on their phone. So it's super easy. Teams, very easy.
Teams is a popular one.
ClickUp, WhatsApp, very easy. Telegram, they can just sit inside and now they're just on their phone basically. And then you can enhance it, right? You can also add voice to it if you just want to talk voice to it and it talks back. It's like there's so many levels of enhancing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also really good for like coaching business. If somebody has a coaching business, we actually doing that for someone that has a construction coaching business. And now everything that he's teaching, like Dan Martell, right? Or like Alex Ramosi just did their ACQ AI. I don't know if you heard it on his, same thing, right? All of his internal docs, everything that he ever trained, everything ever he wrote. Now it's out there basically. Just incredible to me, because when I was an accountant that day, when I made a career switch, and I was an accountant in senior living, a property management company, basically, I was using Yardi as a front end. And when I just found out, hey, I could automate processes through like macros, I was blown away. And then I moved to another department I got a great opportunity. My CFO moved me into the IT department. So I become like a system analyst of Yardi, and I would sit there and learn like how to write the syntax, like how to write basically query language. structured query language, like how to write selects from, so I can pick it from a right table, and then I can join multiple units, like a tenant table with the unit table with the property table, or like change the occupant statuses, and it would be like the scripts that I would have to write now. So I had to learn all that query. There was no AI that I could just ask, hey, how do I write this syntax better? Can you like read this? I would sit on forums and dummy down the data, and then wait like a Christmas tree in the, next day if somebody responded. Now everybody could query. Everyone could query. You just have to write English. To me, it's just incredible.
It's really incredible how quickly this is growing and how mainstream it is. Like, I'm working on an app that I'm building right now, and it's, I'm using ChatGPT to talk to Airtable, to talk to 11 Labs, to talk to Glide, to talk to, all these different applications to create one end user application. And it's just amazing because at the same time, I'm having my ChatGPT teach me how to do it. And it's just writing English, right? Yeah. So it's absolutely incredible what's happening and how it has come to the forefront of technology right now. And it's at everybody's fingertips, where I had my son and me, we sat down and we built a video game in about 30 minutes, right? Using Base 44. And, that is just like unheard of a year ago. Right. But this stuff is right here, right now. To me, man, you have to learn AI, or you have to, just even learning just how to prompt is so incredibly important. And, I met you through Dan Martell, and Dan's a big AI guy, right? And he's always pushing this stuff for us. But to me, it's like, you're almost silly not to go down that rabbit hole, right? Because it's just changing every industry so fast.
Absolutely. Ian, how did you get involved with that, and how did you have the insight or foresight to get into the construction space?
I got in the construction space by accident. So I have about a decade of personnel and project management, and for a while now, actually just had this conversation today, coincidentally, I haven't had to look for a job. People have sort of been like, hey, do you want a job? And I've been very fortunate with that.
Amazing.
And I got into construction out of a different project management. And I was like, how hard can it be? I can figure this out. And after being there for a while, as Zulfiya said, I started pointing her towards construction because I just saw so much opportunity there. It's layered opportunity too. It's not just simple things. Not the top off the top pieces like the historical databases and stuff like that, but just so much data not being used properly in that space, just because a lot of people are doing things the way they've been doing them for 50 years. Some of these people have been around a lot long. So that's why I was trying to push her towards that initially. I'm glad it came around.
Yeah. And that the industry is, it's kind of like a blue collar industry, right? And so like a lot of the guys at the top were the foremen before, right? Mm-hmm. Now they own their own businesses and they don't know technology, right? That's not something that they've ever had to do. Mm-hmm. So you can come in there very quickly, I assume, and really ramp up their business model, right?
If they let us. So
I was going to ask you. Yeah, if it's well received.
One of the things Zulfiya kind of said, and I almost interjected this part too, her passion, when she says she likes helping business owners, her passion goes beyond liking helping them. And when she gets off a call, she's like, I can do so much for them. Just let me do it. I can make you so much money. Just let me do it. Like, she doesn't say that to them. She has to wait to get off the phone and say it to me.
Yeah.
But that's her level of passion. And honestly, it is a matter of just them letting us do it, because we have to not only bring them a solution, but describe how it benefits them and how it can quickly benefit them. And that's a different skill set entirely. We can, like I said, I have a decade of project and personnel management. I can handle that. Sophia is very passionate about data and AI. Then you got to talk about sales, and that's something separate entirely. And we do our best, but honestly, that's a really sticking point for us, a real hard sticking point for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could totally see, because what he said is a lot of times we run into that this new thing is intimidating for people, although it's here, especially for trades. And how Ian said, he was so right. I've been doing this for 50 years, or the predecessor did it. And it just kind of stops there. It just doesn't go anywhere. And it's really hard to kind of even do small things because there's just, no, we don't want to break things that are, that we don't know about. We don't know how this is going to work, but let's even start on a small, maybe test run and breaking through that barrier, like as AI is moving so fast, but the mindset still needs to change. And as you guys know, in trades right now, there's a huge shortage on people, and majority that are in trades right now that have been there for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So adoption on that level is a little bit, is a little bit shorter. So just taking time for them to come to understanding that this is for their benefit. This is a good thing. Like, let's look at one small, let's test it out. Let's invest in time. Because here's the thing. Media also is doing a bad job in terms of like showing how fast, how things are. It's so cheap. For example, here's a $20 tool, right? Or here's a free tool, try it out. Or here's a quick return. But then when you actually come to implementation, it needs everybody's time. Like, it needs to look at the SOP, like standard operating procedures, and they need to be inspected, right? They need to be reviewed. They need to make sure that they're followed. And now when you layer AI on it, AI cannot scale in chaos. So you need an investment from them side. It's not just a quick thing that it can land and quickly, like, itself, like right now you're playing it out, how much testing it needs to make sure it's actually like doing the job that it needs to be done, like doing basically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that all makes plenty of sense. For those who are listening, but really haven't dove into AI yet, are there any like practical examples, or maybe people that are using it like they would talk to Google, right? Like you see a lot of that. What's the next step? What's something that they can implement right now that will kind of help level them up a little bit?
Ooh, connectors, I would say. If they're using ChatGPT-5, GPT-5 is right now benchmarking to be one of the strongest model. And amazing thing what they did, what OpenAI did, it opened for everybody. If you guys remember at the beginning, it was like paid, free. So it was a free plus plan $20 and $200. So you could only get your hands on the strongest model, like O3 model, if you're paying for it, for example, or GPT 4.5 if you're paying for it, like a $200 model. Now it's free for everybody. And if you can connect your resources, for example, there's connector options. You can connect your Google Drive, you can connect your calendar, your emails, your Notion, for example, your SharePoints. And then now we can start talking to it and getting more information, like, hey, book a meeting with somebody, like book a meeting with Mike, for example, at 3:00, or tell me what's available right now in my calendar, or summarize my emails and tell me what did I miss, for example, what's the important part. You can also connect it maybe to your note taker. That's another thing that's very, I think, important, because now that we have note takers and all of the calls, there's so much insight that's packed in it. And sometimes we're so blinded by it. Now we can ask, like, what's the one thing that my clients have been asking over and over again, and we haven't been delivering, or we have been forgetting, or we have not taken note of and discussed with them.
Do you think that the connectors could replace a virtual assistant?
No, because so I do this AI webinars every Thursday for free for business owners, and I at 10 o'clock Eastern, and I actually show them. So every call, like for example, I did deep dive on Claude and MCP connectors and model context protocol connectors. What they are is, right now, if you want to add your individual systems, there's a backend access. There's an API key, like a unique key that's needed. But for model context protocol, it's basically saying, I can connect to you, Asana. You just click connect. You don't need to go on a backend, give me that token. I have to kind of configure it. I can connect to your, for example, Canva, or I can connect to your LinkedIn and post on your behalf. You literally write in Claude, like generate a post about, for example, real estate investing, and now it's going to put together like in this format, add these pictures, and then post it to LinkedIn. It can generate the post for you in a way, in your brand, in your voice, because you can attach the knowledge base directly, now post it to LinkedIn. Incredible, right?
Incredible.
But here's the thing though. So MCP is good, but sometimes it might fail the connection. If there's too many things that are connected, it might fail the connection, so it will not talk to your system. So this is where it's still, because it's so general. It's Claude and ChatGPT is open for everybody, right? So that's why you need to kind of like a designated agent that is like to do this task, otherwise it gets a little not stable as much.
Yeah, basically just sort of like summarize the questions for us replacing a virtual virtual assistant, you create an agent. You'd have to like create an agent, something Zulfiya does, to replace that. You can't just sort of like, hey, ChatGPT,
But
how you doing?
it's a good idea. But I would say, like, for example, on a Claude, and you can connect it even Claude, like, so that it's MCP from Zapier. You can even connect to your QuickBooks. And now you can talk to your QuickBooks, and you can ask it, hey, create sales invoice for this amount and for this person in QuickBooks, just through the prompt. It would take a longer time, but it will get it done. Or you can ask it, or tell me, like, what's my receivable looks like, for example. It can also go talk to your QuickBooks. I think what you could do is now empower that executive assistant so they are not stuck. You still need a human in the loop. The more, and I know a lot of people say, oh, no, AI is autonomous, AI is doing so, but it's a really machine on the back end. And if tricky comes, like, for example, ChatGPT, came up with the agent mode, right? Where it can browse multiple websites, enter information on your behalf. Like, for example, I'm looking for a plumber right now if my pipe burst in Burlington, Massachusetts. And if I give it my address, it can go scrape all the plumbers in my area, find the even form, fill it out with the information on my behalf. And then if there's a place where it asks the credit cards and you're not checking, because machine might not verify this website like you would. And now it's paying for the website that's completely like malicious, right? Wow. So these are the things actually Sam Altman talked about as well, that they're still working out on how to make sure. That's why you need a human in the loop as you're putting your addresses, your financial information out there, your credit card information. You need someone supervising it for you.
How hard is it to move from one LLM to another? Meaning, like, if you are using Gemini all day, every day, and you want to switch to Grok or Claude or ChatGPT, but you've got all your stuff in one area, is it hard to move to something else? Or because it seems like they're always leapfrogging each other, right? So how do you best advise for doing that?
Wait, so the question might actually be more complex than I think you may have meant it to be. When you say stuff, what do you mean by your stuff?
Well, I just mean, like, let's just take it simple and just say your chats, right? All your different chats that you have with ChatGPT, for example, right? You got 200 different chats going on, right? But you're kind of getting tired of ChatGPT and you want to go try Claude because you've heard good things. How do you take all of that and move it over? Or is there a good way?
That would be actually a little complicated, because if you're using right now these front-end tools, I'll call them, right? That you have GPTs and then Google Studio, for example, and Groks, they have memory. So all the conversation is stored on that platform. So what I would usually advise is for people is master one or two, just because all of them have kind of similar features. And if you wanted to know, because the way I say this, use AI as a co-creator. Use AI is almost like outsourcing your brain. I think that's the level they should be talking to it. Not just like chatting with you on Q&A sessions, but really knowing your pain points, what you're trying to achieve, what your goals are, all your case studies, all your work, everything you've built. So now the more context it has about you, the better it performs. So, and I know Claude will come up with a new feature like these connectors that I talked to you about. And then ChatGPT now has the agent mode, study, learn mode, for example, or better thinking models. There's also a way that you could do vibe coding on ChatGPT as well. But just, I would say, pick one or two, master them, and then you can use the other ones. It's just double check the answers. That's always fun because to validate them. Like, for example, right now I'm looking at the Perplexity Comet. So what it could do for you, if you can ask it generate leads, and then you can also ask, hey, can you check in each one of these websites if they have a chatbot sitting in there? It can go on your behalf, open those, or there's certain things that you want these websites to be referencing. Hey, for example, this is a good one. Can you check out these websites and see if they use URD? Just kind of giving you as a property management, or if they use any type of voice agents, if it's written somewhere. So it can go and scrape each one of these websites open on your behalf while you like eating a snack, or you are responding to email, or you validating things. So just incredible features that maybe operators a bit, I would say agent mode is a bit clunky on. The other one is does better job on.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. All right. You guys are building something great and you're building it together, and that's really cool. But what is the hardest part about working together, and what advice would you have for other couples that are starting to build businesses together?
Saying hardest makes it sound like there's one thing, right? I mean, it's hard. It is hard. Like, to be honest, it is hard. I mean, there's small things that we can't control. Like, let's say you have a couple who has two very different jobs. And for instance, I'll use a friend of ours works in finance. When she has her busy season, right around tax season, her husband has to really step up and help with the kids.
Yeah.
When we have a busy time, we have a busy time. We both have a busy time. So now two kids are crying and we stare at each other briefly and do a mental rock, paper, scissors. And then, like, it's just, it's difficult to sort of balance your life because
Sure.
you're both doing the same thing. I don't know if that's the hardest, but that's the first one that came to mind for me. I don't know if you have a different answer.
I think the hardest part is in the trenches. While we in it, we get like, for example, I get frustrated and things are not working out and I don't see the progress of where are we going or what hasn't been improved. And I also don't see how much the other person is taking on at the same time. I think that's a big one, that I don't see how much he's taking on. I think I'm taking on a lot. But then every time I'm on events, every time on network, every time I go have a good time, eat a nice meal, when I'm client meeting, he's stuck at home with two kids that are crying and he's not socializing. He's giving all that up so I can go and build business, so I can go build relationships because I'm the face. And I think, and seeing also that he does all of that, plus like he also does his job and sacrifices on, he doesn't have his buddy time. None of us, we don't go out, or just all those things that get unseen. Only we'll see this, once you reflect back a little bit, that it sacrifices on both ends. And sometimes the person that you think, like you see, is, I'm a hardworking person, but at the same time, he's putting all that work so I can put that work. And that's much harder. Like, he kind of goes on, I feel like, behind the scenes, but he does give me the space to go. And that space is so important. And taking care of the kids, and plus the job, and plus he does also our households. I'm clueless where, like, if the car is broke down, he's going to be fixing it. I'm clueless when the oil changes up. I'm clueless when we don't have like paper towels in, or we run out of rice. So he does all of that. And that is necessary in life because we need to sustain it. We only got each other. It's not like my family's across the ocean. We don't have somebody to come in and help us to look at the kids, don't have that.
Hey family, real quick. If you'd rather watch your content, head over to Our Family Invests on YouTube. You'll find this episode and all our episodes over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your takeaways in the comments. Now, back to the show. Yeah, it takes so much teamwork, and that's like the bittersweet freedoms and handcuffs of entrepreneurship, right? And building a family at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself staying in that phase and those supporting roles, or do you think that you'll transition out of that? And you do have littles too.
Yeah, I hope to make a lot more money so we can offload everything that Dan Martell talks, like help around the house, cleaners. That would be fantastic to come help. I think also having maybe some extra help when we haven't gone on a date. I think we've been together, now married 5 years or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So only last year we went on a date once when we were in Uzbekistan because my mom was there, and when I go home, my parents are amazing. I'm like unstoppable. If my mom was here, I would be unstoppable, unbreakable, because I know my mom will hold my fort. But right now, we haven't gone on a date. Literally, it's not happening. Our date is
we had our sushi sometimes.
Sushi sometimes. Yeah, at home.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it comes to us. That's our date, right?
Yeah.
And
that sounds like our previous lifestyle for sure. I definitely encourage you to make time to have a date, even if it's at home or midday when it's in a nap, to just take a moment to breathe. And
the last date, I guess, would be last weekend. We both sat on the couch with our laptops together. Like, that was, we both had our laptops open, but we were touching and we were together. I know that sounds weird, but we made sure that we like sat next to each other and we were working, but we were chatting about things that weren't work, right? Like those, you find ways to make it happen, right?
Brother, we have been there. We've had that date. And we're in a lot of pretty much the same situation as you. Like her parents both of our parents are overseas, right? We live in Hawaii, so we don't have any close relatives here. We never had a date for a long time until our son now is 9. So he can kind of be on his own a little bit here and there. But yeah, it's hard. And especially when you don't have that support system nearby, you're reliant on each other for everything. And then your dates it's not that you're not having dates. It's just that they look different, right? Like your date is,
sitting on the couch with your laptops and your elbows touching.
To be clear, it's not just that they're different. That last day we went on to Uzbekistan was this very high-end Georgian restaurant that was amazing. Like, it's definitely a better date than the couch laptop date. It was not
Sweet points, Ian. This is the reality, though. This is the seasons. These are the moments that every entrepreneur goes through, especially if they have kids. And it doesn't have to be like that. And the priority of like taking the time with each other, however that looks, still has to happen, even in our busy seasons.
Absolutely.
So I love that. Yeah. And you guys need to go to Uzbekistan again.
I'm also counting this as a date, by the way. This is right together time.
This does not count as your date. If you come to Maui, we'll watch the kiddos and you can go on a real date.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Current friction. I think we kind of touched on that, but is there something in particular that you are both working on right now? And how are you moving through that?
I would say we both. So this is something that this circles back to an earlier question you had about when we met and how we like fell in love, that kind of thing. We both made it pretty clear that we wanted to grow, right? Just as individuals, and we both had ambitions and we both bonded over that kind of thing. So when you say things we're working on, that list might be very long. And a lot of things on the list might be really short, really small things, right? Sure. Getting to bed on time, getting to bed together, kind of things. Like sometimes one of us is working until 1 a.m. and the other person has to wake up at 5 a.m. So there's no way that we could, right? So there's those little things. And then there's bigger things too. What we're trying to grow together. Like we want to grow the business. She has not given up on that real estate empire just yet. We're still probably going to work on that as well. I was just over at the property last week. So there are a lot of things. As far as friction goes, friction happens. I mean, we're living together. We're working together. I've made mistakes on my job, the way every person makes a mistake on their job. And then she has to come at me because she's my boss and tell me, you made a mistake on your job. And I'm like, you are absolutely right. I have no excuse. Like I failed to document this answer so that my team could act upon it appropriately. You are right. I just missed that. So like friction happens at that level, regularly. But
we do have rice.
What's that?
But we do have rice.
We do have rice. We always have rice. But as far as the friction goes, it never affects how we feel about each other.
I love that.
We never let it escalate to any sort of resentment or anything like that. We know who we are and we just keep being who we are and just try and be better versions of that as we go.
For too long.
No, it's great.
I hear a lot there, like you're really wanting to grow. And of course there's frictions, right? And there's all these different circles that you're working on trying to improve, right? And that's normal for any business and any relationship. But it sounds like you guys have a really good connection and are really good at being able to compartmentalize when you need to and with what you need to. Do you have any techniques that you found that helps to reduce stress when you're feeling overwhelmed?
I almost want to say, as far as overwhelmed go, we have different levels of what is overwhelmed because we do different things, right? So she, again, circling back to earlier sort of conversations, she talked about how she goes out and I stay with the kids. It's because she handles all of our marketing. All of it. Like what you're seeing right now is the closest thing to any marketing for this company I've done in any regard. She handles all the marketing. So her overwhelmed is a very different overwhelmed than mine. So when you say compartmentalized, I would say that's kind of what's happening, is that when she needs to blow off steam, it looks different than the way I blow off steam. We make sure we don't blow off steam at each other. And that's something that I will give as advice. Make sure that you understand that they're both, and she said this, we are both working very hard. And sometimes I miss how hard she's working because I'm not working on the same thing. And sometimes she misses how hard I'm working on because we both know that we are both pushing ourselves to be.
I think actually he has one sentence that he says all the time, that kind of, when you're in this kind of heat stress zone, this is one thing. What would you like to see happen? Or what can I make? And it's like right there, because when he says that, then you feel heard, seen, and you almost put your guard down. What would you like to see happen? Or what can I do to change this? So I think that is a very huge quality of him, because it takes really your ego to put your ego away, and it brings the person on the other side calm right away. So then you don't keep on bouncing on it, like against each other, and keep like the friction going. But like, what would you like? And almost like, what I would like to see different, and how would I how would you say it? What would you?
You said it.
Yeah.
What would you like to see happen?
What would you like to see happen? Yes.
If you're upset about something, if you're upset about something, clearly something that is happening isn't what is ideal to you. So why don't we start with what is ideal to you, and then see where we can go from there.
It's really good.
That.
It's so really good. It's just like it's one line that he says every time. It's like, oh, all right.
We're gonna start implementing the Ian in our house. I like it.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I want to talk quickly about growth. So here, 300, Alex, I wrote that, and it's right sticky that's on here. So I made this big goal, and big one impossible goal. I read Benjamin Hardy, Science of Scaling book, and it sounds like you've heard of that book. Like he says, do one thing and kind of go all on it, right? So that's Vicky. That's Vicky Voice Agent for construction services. I have to sell 300 of them in 90 days. So what I'm doing in terms of growth, my marketing, I'm going at it full speed, cold messaging, LinkedIn outbound, Instagram outbound, partnerships, finding people that have communities of electricians, of file RAM guys in there, plumbing companies, HVAC, everyone that my Vicky could help to, and see how can I have you guys have this. How's that working? Would that be interesting to you if we can try it out? Also looking at people that have proprietary software, for example, that they built for my trades, and talking to them as well. And and my biggest thing that I'm working on, biggest growth that I'm working on. So when I listened to the book, Science of Scaling, I wanted to do something that I'm super scared of, almost like super scared, where my heart just goes down. I feel the pit in my stomach there. I just feel like the anxiety. And I thought, if I'm not doing that, that means I'm not going after my dreams. And that is from door knocking. That is actually not being, because right now I am hiding behind my cold messages and my LinkedIn outreach and my Instagram. I think it's hiding, because it's so much easier to write a message and get in front of a person or do the cold call and actually talk to them. So this is my goal, is talk to my personal growth, talk to local business owners, just door knock. There's a park where I drop off my kid every single morning. Industrial park in daycare. They're right there. I can walk from the car and just talk to them. There's tons of them in there sitting, basically. All of those guys that I've just mentioned to you. And I just need to go get maybe Duncan, or even just go and talk to them. Hey, I have this weekend. I have it on my phone. It's a demo. Do you want to hear it? It's how it sounds. Like, I need to start doing that. And that's my personal growth, because you never know who you get to talk to. As right now, I talked to one fire alarm guy, but then once I finish for him, there's a potential to go 50, because he connected me with somebody who has that CRM system. So now, we can partner up and basically grow bigger. So I need to go through my fears and go get my goal, basically.
I've been pushing her to get in front of people as much as possible, because in one of those things, like I said, people pick up on her ambition. People also pick up that she is very genuine, very honest, and people love her right out of the gate. And I try and tell her, this isn't normal. What you're seeing with all these people that you meet, and then you make these close bonds with them after 3 days. I don't do that. When I meet people, that doesn't happen to me. It's just not a normal thing, but it's something she witnesses every time she goes anywhere.
That's amazing.
So what is stopping you from doing that?
2 qualities, and you would be successful. One is execution, which I've got, I know. Second one, having no shame of offering your service, asking for a job, asking for help. If you got just 2 qualities, you are unstoppable. And I feel like I need to work my second one, where I need to stop again, hiding behind my cold messages and get in front of a person and do cold call and talk to them.
I can feel, and I'm sure you can feel, the passion that you have for wanting to help people. Could you maybe spin it, instead of your fear stopping you or bothering them, that you are actually going to enhance and project so much more growth in their business that it becomes the mission of what you see they can do?
Yeah, it's almost like you're giving them a gift, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm not just giving you these donuts. I'm giving you an extra $100,000 a year when you sign up for this. Okay, here you go.
Because someone told me, and that's kind of why I agreed to do this podcast with Mike, was because I agreed with the mission and with changing the narrative for families, because we've felt that we have been blessed by amazing families in our lives. So I wanted other people to know that it's possible. And so that projects me to show up here, even though I'm freaked out, but to keep showing up because it is impactful. So you're creating impact with small conversations.
Yeah.
They want to taste this and they just don't know it's available.
Yeah.
I totally understand that, Sophia, like that fear, because I have that same thing too. I've always been bad at like being that salesperson, and I'm a very good execution person. I can get things done. I can do things, but I need people to come to me. I don't do well going to them. So I totally have that same fear that you have. I know what you're feeling there. I look at what you're doing though as being so beneficial for so many people and so many businesses that are trying to grow and trying to get a leg up. It's like winning the lottery if they're able to accept it and take it into their business, right? So I just want to encourage you. And I know that you have a ton of courage already, but you know, what you're doing is really impactful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially with these businesses that are multi-generational, like they're going to need to be ahead of the curve. And so you get to lead them there and they're going to want this.
Yeah, we actually have better luck with the multi-generational. Like we have the younger group who are reaching out to us to say, my grandfather started this business and now my dad learned from him, but he's not taking this on. So he's given me such and such a budget, right? And to open the door. And then once we get in that door and we can show them the amount of money that they can save or make, it's just, so that is helping us with the multi-generational.
So what does your ideal client look like? I mean, is it a small, 5-person company, or is it more like a 30, 40, 50 employees kind of?
There are options for both. I mean, there's things we can do for both, but if we say ideal to us, ideal is going to be the bigger. I would assume you'd agree to that.
Yeah, bigger, but I also like to help small business owner. I would say right now I have clients from 2 million to 5 million to 10 million, somewhere around there, and they would like to double their business or they would like to grow their business. Yeah, and I honestly love helping small business just because I don't know, it feels really like I know they work hard, they're building this from scratch, or they passing the torch, for example. The torch has been passed and they want to make sure that they keep going. This is a family thing. And then I like to help local businesses as well, because I want to, it's kind of, they have to provide jobs for other people. They have to sustain teams, and it's impactful. I think from that point of view, just because what I see is people start businesses because they're good at something, but then what it becomes now, this is started hiring people. Now it becomes more like legacy, more of like, I have responsibility, not just for myself, my teams, that I provide living standard for quality, and I want to provide a quality living standard for, and also see my clients win.
Yeah,
that's good.
See, that's why she makes quick bonds. My answer, her answer, to see the difference there. That's why
you guys are a good tag team.
You're a great team.
On my operations side, I absolutely prefer the bigger clients. It's so much easier when they have multiple departments and each one is specialized, and I can just deal with this department and in that department. It's way easier for me. But for her passion, no, she wants to help people and really genuinely does believe that. So see, that's why she makes better friends.
I love it. I love it. How has having a family shaped the way you approach business?
Entirely. I don't know how else to say that. Like, it's completely changed how we do this. I mean, we both can't be up until 2 a.m. anymore. Like, we can't do it. We can't both wake up at 4 a.m. anymore. It's just, that wouldn't be sustainable at all. And that's just the sleep portion, let alone everything else. Someone has to cook dinner. Someone has to clean up after dinner. Yeah. So we have to find ways to make the business work. And I make no bones about it. My children are 100% my priority. I without flexibility on that in any regard. My kid needs to be picked up before 5:30 from his daycare. I don't care what my meeting's about. I don't care if you're actively trying to tell me you're going to give me $10 million to provide this service. Sorry, my kid is at daycare. I got to go. Tell me tomorrow. It absolutely impacts your business in every regard.
Yeah. Guys, I know you got 2 littles, right? And they're very little, so they don't see a lot of what you're doing right now. But what do you hope that they learn from watching how you live and work?
Our 3.5-year-old sees more than we realize. He said not too long ago, so we go see her family in Tashkent every year. He loves it there. And as welcome as the family is to me, even more so to this little guy. And
I bet
he absolutely loves it. But he asks pretty frequently, when are we getting on the airplane? When are we going to the airport? And she answers, well, mama's got to work so we can buy the plane tickets. And then he says, go work. So he picks up on a lot of it, a lot more than you would necessarily think. And as far as teaching them those kinds of things, I have absolutely no fear that they will accidentally pick up a work ethic from Zulfiya just by being in the proximity. She's concerned about it, but
he's not wiping the table after himself.
Yeah. Constantly thinking, I'm like, I'm not concerned. No, he's in this house. He won't be able to avoid the work ethic. You won't have a choice.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, I want to lighten it up a little bit, and I want to be respectful of your time. So I know we're going on almost an hour here. So I want to get you guys to bed because it's late on the East Coast and you're spending your Friday nights with us. So as we wrap this up, I want to know, who are 3 people or books or places that inspire you?
3 apiece?
If you like.
It could be a combination.
I have an easy answer, and it's going to be a cop-out, and I apologize, but it's not a cop-out. It is 100% true. It is Zulfiya. I cannot beat around the bush. She is the hardest working, most ambitious person you will ever meet. And it is infectious. And it has helped me be better. And I have no bones about it. She has made me better, helped me see how to be better. Saying made me better is really not the right way to say it. It's unfair. It's seeing that I could be better and finding a way to improve myself in almost every regard, except for weight. Kids are really kicking my butt on that. Getting to the gym is so hard, but everything else, she is absolutely an inspiration.
Thank you, Ian. I would say from just the business side, who inspired me, obviously, Rich Poor Dad. That was incredible book, and I think for a couple of years I would just re-listen constantly. That book was a big impact on me. I would say another book that really, Shoe Dog book was incredible, by Phil Knight. With just the amount of obstacles that he faced and how he just put everything on the line. That was incredible as well.
We stole that motto and use it all the time.
Yes, the work is done when the work is done.
Your job's not done until the job is done.
Until the job is done.
Yes. Absolutely. I love that. And I say it more often than I probably should. People are annoyed by it, I'm sure.
Yes. And I would say also I'm inspired by common people that I meet, like you guys, every day. I'm talking about common people. I'm not talking about, let's say, people that are in millionaires that well known now, but I'm talking about like you, Mike, for example. You're a firefighter and you built the lifestyle that now you can sit on a podcast and surround yourself with incredible people and follow your passion and have the freedom to spend time with I mean, I know it took you guys, you and Caroline, it took a lot of sacrifice. It wasn't just overnight, but you guys made that happen. All those books that Brendan Turner, right, Cafe Fetke, that all the podcasts that I used to listen with just being a corporate person. And I had no idea how they built multi-million-dollar portfolios. You guys are doing this. And you are one of those people that they interviewed on the call. Like they would interview common people that created the life that they ever dreamed of, abundant life, not with the trust fund money, not with inheritance, just common, ordinary person achieving incredible life. I mean, that is to me is inspiration.
Thank you. I've never felt more common. Thank you.
Yeah, well, common and ordinary.
extraordinary.
I'm going to call him my commoner. Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, that is really sweet. Thank you for saying that. And I do believe you, and not just for us, but how you see the world. It's obvious based on how Ian describes you and just how much I've known you over the last few months, I suppose. Here's a little bit different question, but I want to know, how do you find peace?
That's such a good question. I remind myself sometimes when I lose the peace, I literally, I pray. It helps me. And gratitude. That was a funny thing, guys. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm making my dough bread.
The sourdough.
Dough bread, whatever
Yum.
And she walks in the kitchen and there's, everything is great in my life. My life is fulfilled. I have loose hay. Just filling with affirmation. 5 o'clock.
I love it.
What's going on here?
That is wonderful.
Just pouring that over me. Just, loose hay affirmations, looking at what I want to do, and finding the gratitude that I still have my living parents. I have my healthy children and I have my healthy husband.
I would say that I want to be as honest as possible. Sometimes peace takes a while. I don't find peace every day. I don't find peace every week sometimes. Sometimes it's just that hard. So as far as finding it, sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes it finds me. I mean, there's just no two ways around it.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing. I think I find peace when I just use my time to work. When I go to bed and I'm at zero, I have one thing that I want to achieve is I want to see my family as much as possible, my parents that are across the ocean. And it bugs me that, that they're not here and I don't have conditions for them to be there right now, or I don't see them. So instead of what I do, I fill up my time with work of achieving that. And when I go to bed, I know I have zero energy left to feel bad, sorry, or to feel any regret. I know that I've emptied my tank. I've done what I had to do. So I just try to fill up my time with work. So I don't have to, I don't have these thoughts running around that I'm not doing things to change, to bring more goals.
Good.
In just one sentence, what would you whisper to your younger self?
How much younger? So my path to where I got was bumpy. And I went to BU on almost a full boat scholarship and dropped out to write the next great American novel. And I'm not capable of that. And I learned that the hard way. So really, I would have told myself I may have actually taken a gap year if I could have done it over again to get a better feeling of who I wanted to be, not just who I was. So to whisper to myself was relax. I know that's counterintuitive because we're talking about self-improvement, but I needed to not chase the next thing at that age. I needed to figure out what the next thing was. Because once I figured out what the next thing was, it's been all go, go, go. And it's been great. It's been pretty successful. I just needed to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
I think for me, accept yourself, accept all your weirdness, because when we're young, we always think we don't look right. We don't say right things, or we think different, or we like the interest. I would sit there and watch Tony Robbins and we'll get embarrassed if other people hear me like Tony Robbins, what are your passion? What do you want to create in life? I'll ask these big questions and now I'm looking back at this. This is good. Good that you, and then have boundaries. I don't drink and I'm not interested to drinking. If somebody is oh, why don't you drink? I'm nope. But just accepting my weird part and actually seeing that actually good part.
Yeah. That's so good. You guys are awesome. I love the humility and the honesty and just the realness that you guys are both bringing. We'd like to usually end our show by saying we learn, we share, we grow. What is one thing that you've learned recently that's kind of helped you just take a minute and breathe and maybe see life a little differently?
Oof. I feel like I'm learning all the time. To pick the one thing that was life-changing, I feel like I'm learning something life-changing, maybe not daily, but definitely weekly. Right. I mean, and that's what I like. That's what I'm looking for. I love it. So to say the thing that I learned, I mean, I don't have an easy answer to that. Do you?
Yeah. I have more from a business side. I think what I've learned is having standard operating procedures and making sure that's a must in your business. Making sure that, another thing I would say, empowering people and invest in day training that you have. Not just a pretty nice word, but literally seeing where their gaps at, write it down in Remarkable, for example, and provide them, maybe get them a coach, get them put a course. So don't expect people. For example, you tell them, hey, you really need to work on your coding skills, for example. Saying that doesn't really help. Prepare for them a roadmap that you can keep them accountable, like a sprint, for example. That's what we're doing right now with our team. And that's where you also follow up with them. So just being very intentional. Don't just say, hey, you need to do this. Like if you have a team members, invest in their team and their growth by preparing them exact roadmap so they can go and execute if you want to see the result.
Yeah. Thank you both so much for staying up late, taking the time to talk with us. If anyone else wants to reach out to you or see what Vicky can do, where's the best way for them to reach out?
Sure. You guys could find me in Zulfiya Forsythe, and I know that you guys are coming a Family Invest. So just what I do, I share my AI library with all of the great tips that I'm learning for how to prompt better, what are the agents, and also some marketing tips that I'm picking up along the way as well. So if you guys coming from, let's say for your audience, just write our Family Invest and I'll send that Notion link for you.
Guys, again, thank you so much. You guys really shared a lot of information, a lot of good stuff that I can't wait to dive into. So really appreciate you both coming on. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being part of the family today. If you want a closer look at our journey through real life, business, and all the wild adventures, follow us on Instagram at Our Family Invest. And for free resources to help you on your own path, head to ourfamilyinvest.com.
If you like this episode, send it to a friend. And if you're feeling extra generous, drop us a quick review. It really helps us grow this community. Thank you so much for being part of our family today. We really, truly appreciate you.